For those people that watch our pod, or for those people that will watch this video and see this, Sydney is a crazy market to own a home. A lot of people, they look at the prices of homes here in Sydney and they just think, I'm never going to be able to own a home in Sydney, or I'm never going to be able to own a home, so why bother? You seeing from moving over from Bangladesh with the $20 in your pocket,
and I was 50,
and you specialize in mortgage broking and helping people find their home here in Australia, and you own a few homes yourself. What would you advise a first home owner, the steps to buy their first home?
The first thing, planning. If you're buying next year, start now.
Save.
Okay. Savings is the key, and cut cost. You may be living with your parents. Okay, this is your great opportunity to cut cost.
Mm-hmm.
Be wary of where you're spending.
Yep.
If you think about it, $5 a coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, $5 a coffee per week. How much? 25, right? Then times it by, I say, 48 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
So think about it.
Yep.
That's extra savings in your pocket.
Yep.
Nowadays, a t-shirt, industry t-shirt, how much? $70.
Yeah.
Don't need the industry t-shirt. The other day I saw in Instagram, they featured Zuckerberg and Bill Gates, right? And there was a photo of them and they go, there is no branded clothes on any of them.
Just black and white shirt.
Just black and white shirt.
Yep.
Because they don't see the value of wasting money on things. Rather, they focus on wealth creation.
Wealth creation, okay. So save,
plan. And the best knowledge tank is your parents. And I guarantee you, your parents did it hard. Ask them. They will teach you.
What if some of their parents are also not homeowners, so they don't know? I think that's the best segue to get into what you specialize in as a mortgage broker. What actually is a mortgage broker?
So a mortgage broker, I mean, in a nutshell, a person who is a mortgage broker, his job is to go out there in the market, in the lending market, negotiate for the customers they have and find the best deal.
With the bank?
With the banks.
Right.
So I do have close to 40 banks on my panel.
Yeah.
And I will find who is going to give the best deal based on my customer scenario, and then go and position that option to the customer. And different people, you will be surprised. Just in this room, all three of us, we have 3 different scenarios.
Yeah. So everyone has their own situation.
Mm-hmm.
So basically you go out there looking for the loan instead of you do all the work for someone.
I'll do everything.
You go to the bank, you try and see the borrowing capacity, and you try and get that loan for them to purchase their first property.
Exactly. And it's not about seeing your mortgage broker and buying a property now, and I need to see my mortgage broker. No. Going back to the planning. I have clients who I had multiple discussions with.
Yes.
And we're not actually buying a property until next year. But we went through their budget, cash flow management, and how we can build to that savings what we need, how mom and dad can help us. Nowadays, mom and dad's at Sydney market, right?
Yeah.
How do you buy it? You may have the capacity, but living expenses are so high, it's hard to save.
Yeah.
How can you own a property with the support of mom and dad? And mom and dads are we're ethnic background, right? Our parents all about helping us, right?
Yep.
But how can they help us? What's the best way to help us? Because we don't want to put them in a wrong situation either, right? So how can we do it the right way?
The right way, yeah. And does it cost money to see someone like you, a mortgage broker?
No, maybe a cup of coffee, 3 wicked wings. Inflation from 2.
It's not $2 anymore, so.
I know, right?
And you guys are different than going to a bank, right?
Yeah, so I worked for National Australia Bank. I worked for Westpac.
Yeah.
I was a mobile lender for National Australia Bank. But the limitations I had as a banker is I can only work with what is available to me, which is the products of National Australia Bank.
Okay.
Whereas
so
now
you can go all the
banks will come to me and ask for business, and I need to decide what is the best product for my customer. Keep in mind, I get paid the same no matter which bank I go to.
Exactly. Is there more of a chance to get a loan from a broker or through a bank? What do you think?
I would say a broker. For
RAEN
example,
capital.
A simple example, right? So your income could be limited, okay, but the property that you're looking and you go one of the big fours and your borrowing capacity may not be there, but then another lender may come to party who are willing to look at giving you higher borrowing capacity.
Right.
And then there you go, you got your property.
For those that don't know, what is borrowing capacity?
Borrowing capacity is based on your income, based on your current liabilities. So you may have a Land Cruiser Prado with a high lending. That actually reduces your borrowing capacity.
Credit cards.
Right. Yes. So borrowing capacity is what is my net monthly income minus what are my net monthly expenses. After that, whatever the amount is left, whether I can afford to get a mortgage and pay that repayment with that amount.
Beautiful. And what do you think, in your own opinion, what do you think is more important? Savings or your salary for owning a home?
Both.
Okay.
Don't be complacent. I've seen cases where people working for the same organization for 5 years, 6 years, and they are really happy. You can't be happy and comfortable and have the desire to go and buy $1 million property. If you have the skill set, go out there, fight for that role that gives you the income that you need to save for the deposit for that property. I understand Sydney market is tough, but Sydney market is also achievable. It's about putting that right planning in place and follow through and get there. You may not be there now, but you may be there in 6 months' time.
Or a few years.
Or a few years. Yeah.
And credit scores, how do they impact your chances of getting a mortgage?
A good credit score is very important. That increases your likelihood of getting the loan from the bank. Banks don't like too many inquiries on your credit file. That reduces your credit score. If you have other lending, always be on top of it. Make sure you make repayments on time so there is no mark against your credit file. It is very important. Otherwise, there are lenders, they look at situations like that where you may have you may have missed a payment here and there, but the challenge you face there is I may be able to go to a lender and get you the lending, but the interest rate will be high because the risk factor is higher to lend someone who has missed a payment in the past. So
I think
how do you mitigate that higher interest rate?
I think a lot of people take that into a lot of people negate that or don't take that seriously enough, the credit score, in purchasing your home. And
Afterpay, Zip Pay, buy now, pay later, it is a credit facility.
Line
it's
of
all part of it. Line of credit. Yeah, exactly.
Another question. Why do you think people with a high borrowing capacity purchase an expensive home instead of buying something a bit smaller or something interstate and renting and living where they essentially want to live, which is essentially rent vesting? Why do you think people do that?
So this is like a two-part
question.
Yeah. So let me look at the first part. Yeah. So why do you buy a
say
expensive
you're
property?
Someone that's on 120k, I don't know, for example, and then their borrowing capacity with their missus, they're able to purchase a home at 1.3, 1.4. Why do you think they wouldn't just buy something at 800,000 and the deposits less, the repayments are less?
It depends on the demographic, right? So if Jem was to go and look at buying a property where he has the borrowing capacity to buy 1.3, I think Jem would think differently because he's got time, right? I'm going to work hard now. I'm not going to bother about luxury, but I'm going to build wealth. I'm going to split it into 2 properties, one interstate, one probably outback New South Wales, and I'm going to take advantage of the capital growth, the rental income, but I'll be asset rich in 10 years' time.
The
time. Now talk about the demographic like me, people in their 40s.
Yep.
I worked my bum off my whole life and I got the capacity of 1.3 million. I have 3 beautiful kids.
Oh, nice.
I don't want to build the wealth. I want to give them that comfort.
Yeah.
I want my daughter to have a bedroom with an attached bathroom in a good suburb.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
So
that makes a lot of sense.
The mindset, the desire,
the level,
at what stage you are of life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks for that.
That's
that was really good.
Different. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that makes a lot of sense. And the second part to that was the... Oh, yeah. No, you answered
It wasn't a 2-part. It was one part.
Perfect.